WRVA, the voice of Virginia.
9:33, the experiment. 9:33, the experiment with Rich Herrera. The 9:33 experiment. 9:33.
All right, we call this the 933 experiment. We open up the phone lines for everybody to call into the program. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. The number for you to join us. That's also the number to send us a text message on the James River Air text line, 833-804-1140. All right, wanted to talk about this. So last week, I did two shows on Thursday and Friday, did Richmond's Morning News, and then I sat in and was a guest host on WPHT radio in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So 2 Commonwealths, 2 days with me as the host. It was a lot of fun. Now, if you listen to the show, I drink way too much diet soda every morning. And as soon as I say this, the text line blows up going, don't drink that much, so it's bad for you. I'm actually going to start to drink more water this week because I know I'm going to be outside and it's going to be hot and humid for the 4th of July for Independence Day. So I'm going to try to drink as much water as I can to hydrate myself before we get ready for the celebration. But our producers in Philadelphia, great guys, did a great job. Now, Super Dave, don't get jealous. They're outstanding. You're still outstanding as well. They just weren't salty like you are.
Well, nobody can be as perfect as me.
Exactly. But they did come up with this soundbite. Now, this is a member of Congress talking to someone who came before them in one of those hearings. And we watch these hearings all the time. They're ridiculous. They're the biggest waste of time. But they pulled this one, especially for me after the first day. They saw how much soda I drank. And they said, oh, Rich, this has you written all over it. This is a person testifying before Congress, talking about SNAP benefits. And the congressman asked him, very, very simple. This is Brendan Gill. I think he's from Texas. He asked a food safety expert why SNAP benefits should pay for soda. Here's the exchange.
What does SNAP stand for?
Is a supplemental nutrition assistance program.
What's nutritional about Coca-Cola?
I am not a nutritionist. I am a food security expert in ensuring that individuals have the food resources that they need.
This is a common sense question. All of these have been common sense questions. I'm just asking you, is there nutritional value to sugary sodas? It's a yes or no question.
I am not an expert. I would have to look at the dietary guidelines.
You're not an expert. I don't think that there's nutritional value to sugary sodas. I think most people in this room would agree with that assessment.
Okay, they went on and on and on and on and on. But the person that was being pressed was Gina Plata-Nino, the director of SNAP Policy and Advocacy at the Food Research and Action Center. So she's a food expert, a food whatever she was. What do they call her? She was a food security expert. That's what it was. Food security expert. So she's asked over and over and over again, what are sugary sodas? Well, should they be covered under SNAP? I don't know. Well, do they have any nutritional value? I don't know. All right, so I'm going to ask this of you. We keep hearing about this over and over and over about how the big beautiful bill did all these things and they put all these people in jeopardy. And one of the things is they're taking away the SNAP benefits from people that have that depend on this, and they make out the administration, Trump, and the Republicans to be such horrible, awful, horrible human beings because they've cut back SNAP benefits. They're trying to weed out waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, if you're on the left side of the aisle, I get it. You don't like anything that Donald Trump does, and you question the administration. Fair enough. You're on the right. You go, well, some of this makes sense, doesn't it? Some of this doesn't make sense. I don't get any of this. So I'm going to open up the phone lines for you right now. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. Or you can send me a message on the James River Air text line. But I want to ask you this question. Your tax dollars go to go to pay for supplemental nutrition assurance programs. That way families can get the supplemental nutritional needs they need just to keep food on the table for the kids. I don't think anybody would ever complain about that. I know I won't. If we can help feed hungry families, yeah, do it. My tax dollars can go help. Yes, that's absolutely correct. Let's do it. You want to give to Feed More? Great. Let's do that as well. We are a compassionate people. We will take care of our neighbor. It's part of being an American. We see someone struggle, we'll be the first to jump in and help. There's ever natural disaster. People will start raising money, donating money. There are people that jump in the car, drive miles to go help people. We are a compassionate people. We will help people that are down in their luck. We will go above and beyond to help people. That's part of what being an American is all about. It's woven into our nature. So with the SNAP benefits, 100%, yes, let's help people, women and children. Let's help people. We don't want anybody to go starving in this country. But now I want to ask you this big question, and it's very simple. Should there be a limit to what people can buy with EBT cards and SNAP benefits? You answer that for me. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. Is it awful to say, you know what, these EBT cards, SNAP benefits should not pay for fast food? These EBT SNAP benefits should not go for just anything that you want at the grocery store. These EBT cards should not go for Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi-Cola, Fanta. I'm trying to think what other sugary drinks that I drink on a regular basis. And I don't drink sugary drinks anymore. Haven't for a while. I drink way too much Diet Coke. So I'm not being hypocritical here, but just the question is, should we have people pay their tax dollars and the money be given in SNAP benefits and EBT for fast food or for regular soda, sugary soda? 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140 is the number for you to call into the program or for you to chime in on the James Rivera text line. I don't think I'm torn between the two. So I grew up I grew up lower middle class. We were never on food assistance. My family is too proud. They wouldn't allow us to do it. But I remember watching the kids getting free lunch as a kid growing up. And I remember something. And Ben Franklin said, if you make people comfortable in their poverty, there's no reason for them to get out of the poverty. And I remember when I was a kid, I couldn't afford a soda. I couldn't afford the quarter every day for soda for lunch. But my mom would give me a dime to go get in line to get milk. And I remember standing in line, but in order to go buy the milk, you had to get in the line where the kids were getting free lunch. And I remember my friends looking at me like, oh my gosh, the Herreras aren't doing very well. Little Richie's got to go get free lunch. And I came back with my milk and they're like, oh, I didn't know that you got free lunch. I was so embarrassed that I never got back in line to get milk again. I'd save up my dimes and by the end of the week, I could have a soda. And the rest of the time, I just wouldn't drink anything with my sandwich. But I remember what it was like standing there looking like, do I really want to be on public assistance? Even as a little kid, drummed into my head, no, we work hard and we don't need a handout. So as I look at this and this story came up, the big question is, have we made people too comfortable? Have we gone out of our way to be too compassionate and people feel like when I get SNAP, when I get EBT, I should be able to use it for whatever I want? Should I be able to use it for soda? Should I be able to use it for fast food? Because now you go to any fast food restaurant, you'll see they'll take EBT cards. I was in a convenience store this week and they said, hey, if it's something that's prepared and heated, you can't use your EBT card for that. You can't use your benefits for that. So what exactly do we want to be compassionate and share with our fellow Americans when it comes to your benefits that they get? What are they entitled to? So if I have an EBT card, should I be able to go buy anything I want at the grocery store? Should I be able to go get steak and lobster? Should I be able to get crab legs? Because you see the videos like that. I don't know if everybody, I think there might be some people that have done it, but I don't think everybody has. But there are people that will take advantage of the system. So should the system have guardrails that I work hard for that money and I'll pay my taxes, but there's somebody who's getting the benefit of food programs paid for by me, waking up every morning at 3 a.m. coming to work, and they're benefiting from my hard work, from my labor that I pay into taxes, and they're eating better than I am. I don't think that's fair. Now, on the other hand, do you make those people that are on public assistance feel less than and ostracized and looked down upon and crush their self-esteem? If you're old enough, do you remember that why we have the EBT cards in the first place? Because we used to give people food stamps. When you got a food stamp, you would stand in line and the cashier go, okay, that'll be $48. This is way, way back when. $48. And when you got the food stamp, $48, and they pull out their food stamps and they have to count it out, and everybody in the grocery store would look, that person's using food stamps. And it was embarrassing for the family. People looked down their nose at them, whatever. So then we said, okay, well, let's do this. Let's give them an EBT card. They could swipe it. Nobody needs to know that they're using food stamps. We'll make them more comfortable being able to use public assistance, because public assistance is not there to shame people. It's to help people feed their kids. And I don't think anybody would argue with, let's feed a kid. But now you've gotten to the point of, are they so comfortable and they're using their benefits, their public assistance, to buy soda, which has no nutritional value? At least that's what the congressman was trying to say. But the person who was a quote unquote food security expert wouldn't answer the question, even though it seems pretty much I could tell you, and as much as I love soda, drinking a Coca-Cola is not going to give me 1 ounce of nutritional value. Is it? All right, you guys know the number. Phone lines are starting to go. Dave's screening them right now. 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. If you don't want to talk on the air, you don't want to make your voice heard, that's cool. You can send a text message in as well to the James River Air text line, 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140. Let's go to Karen on line 1. Karen, welcome. You're on News Radio WRVA. This is the 933 Experiment. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
How are you?
Good. What do you think?
What I think is it goes beyond whether or not we should allow them to have all kinds of foods like liquor, wine, fast foods.
I don't think you can buy liquor. I don't think you can buy liquor and I know you can't use public assistance for liquor and wine, but you can buy Coca-Cola and you can use it at a fast food restaurant.
Right. So it goes beyond that, because now we're providing what's supposed to be nutritional food
right
to people who are can't afford it.
Right. And you don't begrudge that, do you? I mean, you begrudge helping feed people that are hungry?
That.
Okay.
I don't begrudge that. But what I do begrudge is that if we allow them to have foods that we already know are dangerous to your health, then we're also putting them at risk for their health. And that we also pay for with our tax dollars. So I think if we're going to call it nutritional, right? Let's make it nutritional.
Okay, now
that it's going to help them.
Okay, now I'm going to put you in their spot. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so what if you were someone who was down in your luck temporarily by no fault of your own, lost your job, became homeless, whatever, and you got little kids to feed?
I was there.
Okay. How would you feel if in your benefits they just tell you you're only entitled to this, you're not entitled to that? Would that hurt your self-esteem? Would that help or hurt you try to get back up on your feet?
No, it would not hurt me, because I want to do what's right for my children. I want them to have healthy food. And I was in that spot. I had no money.
Okay.
And when I had no money and 2 little kids to feed, I couldn't get on any kind of support, because I wasn't divorced, but there was no money coming in,
Right.
and he had an income, so I couldn't even get it if I wanted it.
Sure.
The bottom line was this: they didn't even take credit cards at the grocery store, and I had no money,
What
so
did
I
you
would
do?
have to put things on the credit card. I paid off credit card. It took me 10 years to pay that off.
Wow.
So no, I know exactly this situation and trying to feed your kids, but I wouldn't have fed them anything that was unhealthy for them, because if we are limited on the food that limited on the money you have to spend on food, you want it to be nutritious food, and that is that's the end in SNAP. So
right. That's the
I
end.
don't get it.
Okay. So everybody heard what you
Yeah.
said. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It doesn't stand for
Correct.
I'm going to get everybody a Whopper.
That's right. And so if you really need assistance with food, if you really are down on your luck, then you should especially want healthy food.
No, that's a great point. And you've been there before, so you understand that. Because here's the one thing, Karen, that I'm going to ask you, just one more thing, if you don't mind. Just the stress of knowing that you're not going to be able to feed your kids.
That's very stressful.
Right.
It's extremely stressful. It was horrible, and it was for and it went on for 3 years. And yeah, it's very scary. It's very stressful, and I ended up denying myself for the children, which is what most mothers do anyway, I would think. But they never got Coke, and they never got chips, and they never got that kind of stuff. They got fruits and vegetables and meat. You know. And that's what we got.
Right. No. I mean, that's Karen, I'm going to tell you this. I appreciate you sharing your story with me, because I think a lot of times as conservatives, like, we just want to yell and scream, but we don't often have the empathy to put ourselves in another position and look through someone else's lens or in their shoes when we start talking about these things. Because again, I completely understand it's stressful. You don't want to put undue stress on that parent that needs the SNAP benefits. But then again, there is a responsibility for you to be a good steward of that money that the rest of the taxpayers has given to you to help you get back up on your feet.
And we don't want to have them have a health issue because they're not eating correctly. And I mean, I do some work with food for people who do not have the money. And we make sure the food is healthy that goes in those lunches.
I only got 30 seconds. Do you get pushback from them? Like, no, I don't want this. This is boring. This is bland. My kids want this.
You know what? Those people are thrilled to get the food. They are happy and they thank us.
Karen, you made my day. That's why we do the experiment. That's awesome. All right. That's going to do it for the experiment for today. Again, we just opened up the phone lines for just a little bit at the end of the program. Get an opportunity to just talk. And sometimes it's going to be great. Karen, I'm going to think a lot about what you had to say. Other times, we'll see what happens. You never know what's going to happen during the 933 experiment. But thank you so much. All right, that's going to do it for our program for today. Time for our national anthem, brought to you by Freedom Services, a training, the biggest gun store in town, located in Mechanicsville. All right, I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I get up every morning. Our whole crew does, because there's some things we believe in. For me, I believe in standing up for my family, standing up for this great country that I love. That's why we get up every morning and bring you Richmond's Morning News here on News Radio WRVA.
Please stand for the national anthem of the United States of America.